And now, Carl and Linda Bott. This is Free Fire Radio.
My guests today are from the Economic Development Corporation, and my friend Todd Jones, and my former friend Tony. The guy I thought had my back, had my six, was on my flank, Tony Giovanniello. Now, you're probably saying, well, what brought that on, Carl? It's because there's this huge announcement Sunday afternoon. United Airlines is coming back into Reading. Do you think I would get just even a hint, something, a call, a note pinned to my door with a dagger that said, big announcement coming Sunday. Big announcement coming. No. They kept it under your lids. You know, this can cause hair to fall out when you keep it so tight under your hat, Tony.
Well, Carl, I can just share one thing with you, and that is you'll never get it any later than anybody else. Right? Oh. It's an equal opportunity deal.
Yeah, and to hear one of the other major news agencies in town says, "How come this other place got it first? Well, we released it on Sunday. I'm not there Sunday. At least I saw it Sunday." And I went, I can't believe they didn't at least say, Carl, on the show, there's going to be a huge announcement Sunday.
You know, it's just as sweet on Monday as it is on Sunday. Just as sweet.
Loose lips sink ships.
Oh, you know what? Okay. All right. Well, these loose lips are going to go all of you guys today. No, hey, great news. You know, Tony knows I'm kidding, all that. And I understand. And what you all have to understand is that the reason they keep it so quiet is until it's into their system, and this is the way Tony's explained it to me. Well, you explain it, Tony.
Yeah, so basically United's policy is until they load the ability to book a new route into their system, they don't want anything announced. And you can understand that, because if it's announced and then people go and try and buy a ticket and it's not there,
which I'm sure they already have,
then that becomes a problem. It creates confusion. So to eliminate confusion, they ask that there is no announcement until it goes up on their system, which we complied with as requested.
Okay. I still think it's BS. Okay. I think I can say that. Yes. All right. But no, hey, kudos, but I'm hearing all types of different things here. Of course, I know that several years ago, 3 years ago, you all put together this $1 million proposal where people were going to put $1 million into a fund that would help any airline meet some of their cost requirements as they're building their traffic.
Yeah. So as you may recall, we had Horizon Airlines. Who flew their Q400s to L.A., and that went from 2004 to 2011. It was a successful flight. It was canceled for reasons outside of the fact that it was a good route for the airline and for equipment and some other things.
Right.
And then in 2013, the community really missed the LAX service.
Well, because it was difficult getting out of here because San Francisco was iffy. They were working on their runways, weather and all that. I mean, it's very iffy. I mean, it was like a 50-50 chance of getting out.
Well, and then the prop planes that we had in the past weren't as reliable either.
You could watch the tips falling off.
So in 2013, the community got together. It was really driven by the EDC, Mark Lascelles at that time, and we created an air travel bank. And the air travel bank basically consisted of two components: a revenue guarantee, which is a pot of money that the airline can draw upon if they, if they have startup costs or they're not putting people in seats due to the marketing, the ramp up of marketing. They can draw on that to break even. And then the second component was the much bigger component was travel vouchers, which were basically prepaid travel. So basically, people were going to prepay for travel that they would use within 1 year of air service being started.
Sure.
Right. And that started out, there's about 40 members in it, and we had about $250,000 pledged for revenue guarantee and about $750,000 for the travel vouchers.
Okay.
And then that kind of evolved every 2 years. It renewed and it changed a little bit. And as the airline started to have more a desire to have revenue guarantee rather than travel vouchers, because travel vouchers require debit cards and all this administration, over the last few years we've shifted more and more to the revenue guarantee. Now, as you might imagine, that's a challenge, because now instead of prepaying for travel that you would spend money on anyway, this money is at risk, right? It's a non-taxable donation, right? In essence, because you're providing money to a profit.
It's a taxable donation, right?
That's right. I said it's a taxable.
Yeah, that's
donation.
right. It's a taxable, not a. Yeah, it is a taxable donation. I mean, you put in $100,000, you're still getting taxed on that. It's not like you're getting money back.
I used the double negative. I apologize.
Okay. Well, it confuses me. Okay. Anyway, okay. Hey, Bob, I want to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back because I want to talk about what you're just explaining now. Since we're shifting from the vouchers to now it's just a pledge, and I want to talk about a newspaper article also. We're going to take a break. This portion of the show brought to you by Maxwell Insurance and Financial. Are you having problems with your insurance? Dealing with some questions and all that? You may not have Judy Maxwell as your agent, but maybe you should. And she's there. She's answering a lot of questions for people. She's been in the business since 1993, helping families, seniors, veterans, business owners. I mean, I have insurance through Judy Maxwell, and I'm so happy. They are there for you. Have somebody like Judy look at your insurance, but also look at your financial dealings and see if everything is where it's supposed to be, especially after we've had this big change in what's happening around here with the fires and all that. That's Maxwell Insurance and Financial. Give her a call, 221-0441, Maxwell Insurance. We'll be right back with Tony Giovanniello and Todd Jones.
But your thoughts will soon be wandering the way they always do when you're...
Welcome back to Free Fire Radio here in the plains of Africa.
This is a new cover that Weezer just put out. Who? The band Weezer just did this cover.
Wasn't that a member of our gang group back in the 30s called Weezer? Because he's going, you call him Weezer? Don't you remember that?
I gave up on trying to transmit any information without interference.
8:33 in the morning here. KCNR 1460 Free Fire Radio with Carl and Bott. It's 60 degrees out there, going up to 81 today. Weather report brought to you by Shasta Gas Propane, and this portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at Cypress Square Barbershop, man's last stronghold, the place.
I'm due.
You are due. Man, I can actually see hair on your ear.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I gotta go in there and see Logan and Tim. In January, they start making appointments.
I know. You know what?
It's kind of hard to.
Well, no, I think, frankly, that's going to be easier for me because I don't know how many times I'll circle it. I'll circle that, kind of like the businesses do out at Stillwater. I circle it and see if I can get in there. And I had to bring that one in. But you're right. Anyway, okay, Cypress Square Barbershop, right there across from the old Subway place. And I think they may even actually be on vacation this week. So is
this the week?
This is the week.
Oh, man.
So I think that you got a buy on this one because you went in there. No, you went and said, I tried, but they were on vacation. See, you got it.
If it gets any longer, it'll be a man bun.
Yeah, almost.
You know what, a man bun. I'm here with Tony Giovanniello, who has a man bun, and the president of the Economic Development Corporation, and Todd Jones, the director of the Entrepreneurial Division. Okay, as we all know, the Stillwater deal has been kind of pushed back, or is it off?
No, it's delayed.
It's just delayed.
And in some ways, it's very interesting because the company that we're working with, Panettone, their business has been so good and they're expanding so rapidly. They're doing lots of new construction and they got to hire new project managers. So basically, unfortunately, we're a good opportunity for them, but we're small. Some of the other projects that they're working on, $300 million, $500 million, $500 million.
How much is ours?
We'll have to get to that. But the good news is that they have resources. They have clients that can spend this kind of money. I'm not expecting anything that big, but I think we'll get access to clients that we never had access to.
$100 million?
I'm hoping, yeah.
Some of the comments here, we're talking about, the flights coming in and all that, are saying, do we have business contacts in L.A. as we do, in Sacramento and, closer in? So will that, even though that this is not costing the taxpayer any money, when we talk about, those flights coming in, that was interesting. Do we have already the possibilities? It can cause the growth of or a connection between us and LA?
Well, we have more marketing opportunities, that's for sure. So, and we really haven't built a complete marketing plan because we weren't sure this was going to happen until just a week or two ago. But now the possibilities are there for us.
Yeah, and it's the number one destination. I mean, there's dozens of people that are part of this revenue guarantee, and of the surveys that the EDC has done over the years, it's the number one destination for all these businesses to go. SFO is a connection point most of the time. LA is really the destination where these people in the community want to go. So, all these people have clients down in the Los Angeles area. It's going to make it a lot easier to go see them and grow their business.
That's a good answer, because it may not be right now LA to here. It's us to LA. A lot of people, right. And you didn't do this just let's just go to LA. There's there's been a lot of studies on this.
Yeah, we estimate that currently 108 people go to LA. 108 people travel each way, back and forth. Mm-hmm. Okay, that buy tickets here in Shasta County. Okay,
108 people.
So in other words,
a week?
No, a day.
Oh, a day.
Okay, and we only have a 50-seater, right? Mm-hmm. So this should be a very successful flight.
Well, it'll be interesting. And the thing about it is, we'll see what happens with it. And like I said, it's not costing the taxpayers anything, is it?
Yeah. There's actually 30 people a day that go to San Diego, so we might get some of those Camp Pendleton we talked about.
Okay. All right.
For the weekend.
So going back to Stillwater then, so this thing has just been delayed. They haven't said, we're pulling back or anything.
No, they have not. Yeah.
Okay. The impact on the cannabis, what do we see with that? I know that you all must be getting a lot of inquiries about that.
We're not, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think Shasta Lake City did really, really well, selling land and things like that because they were a first mover.
Right.
All right. Since then, a lot of other places have opened up, especially Sacramento. Sacramento was one of the first ones as well, and there was a lot of land sold in Sacramento. The rest of it is mostly retail, and as you know, the EDC doesn't really focus on retail.
Okay. I just saw where they want to build a facility up off of, I want to say Caterpillar, but I don't think that's right. Someplace off of Lake Boulevard to be a facility that it's a growing facility. It's not it doesn't make candy or anything like that. It's a growing facility up there. That's what I thought, when we're looking at Stillwater, was there going to be, like these huge warehouses out there that was going to be growing marijuana.
Well, remember, you're limited to 22,500 square feet, so they're not going to be huge by any means. But
22,000 square feet.
And I don't know the specifics of the Lake Boulevard development, but there is an opportunity zone up in that area which can provide additional incentive, and that might be why they're doing it there.
Okay. Todd, the entrepreneurial side here. I know there's things going on all the time. You always bring in, you'll find somebody, bring them in here, and, our coffee place down here.
Theory
Coffee.
Patriot Pen last month.
Yeah, Patriot Pen last month, which is another great group of guys out there that quit their jobs because this has been such a success. Patriot Pen, in case you're wondering, is the way you can, it's a one-button push. It pops open the upper receiver group, and allows you to drop the magazine and then reload it quickly, or drop it down quickly and reload your rifle quickly, thus legally getting around all of these stupid rules that the state of California has put on, on legal gun owners who just like to shoot.
Keeps your gun California compliant, keep the buttstock and pistol grip and all the exciting features. But I think that some of the other big news for the EDC has been that we just relocated the Shasta Venture Hub. So we were up on Caterpillar for about the last 3 years and just moved down across from the Civic Center at 777 Auditorium Drive. It's the old Visit Redding office. Most recently
right on the corner
it was Venture Properties, but so we just moved in there last week. We're still unpacking some boxes. But we are open, so we're going to start a outreach more to more coworkers. It's a smaller space, but it's a very nice space, and it's obviously closer to downtown. We're not quite in the heart of it, but we're very close to downtown, so we're excited to greet people there.
What about your you had all those little startups in your old building? What about them?
So a lot of the people were starting to migrate towards downtown, and people were getting leases together. There's a whole group of entrepreneurs that have either bought buildings or leased out a large space so they could all kind of have their own collaborative work environment. There's segment people, and there's people that just know each other that wanted to share an office. So a lot of those people were starting to do that downtown. Office prices are not that expensive in Reading relatively still. So people were doing that, and we saw kind of a migration. And we didn't see the need for the startup offices like we did 5 years ago when the whole Venture Hub idea was really started. The co-working space we do still see as a value, so we're going to offer that. But the folks that were up there, they found different offices around town. Most of them, like I said, downtown.
Todd Potential is
still with us.
Oh,
so Todd Potential, yeah, they're kind of they're an invaluable partner of the EDC as well as all of the business they're doing all over the country now. So we're really excited that
someday
Jake
we may see Joe McKenna again.
Someday,
maybe.
We have Jake, and we're happy to have Jake.
Zoom conference.
Joe used to kind of live here in the offices, and then Joe moved to Johnson City, Tennessee. So I'm gonna have to FaceTime him and go, Joe, what are you doing?
You can go visit him. You can connect through LA in March.
So that's the big news. We're getting our key cards set up. All the folks that were coworkers, we have key card access that's not turned on yet. So you basically have to see us between 9 and 5:30 now. Otherwise, the doors are going to be locked. But we should get that installed in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be excited to open up for coworkers again.
Okay. Well, that is exciting, and it's because it's in a really good location down there. It's close to town, and you're right there at the New Sheridan and all those things. Somebody said that was in here was talking to us. The idea that there could be 4 cranes working downtown Reading at one time, and what he's talking about, of course, is the rebuilding down here. And I'm not sure if he's counting the Dickers building and then the
courthouse.
The courthouse, that's 2. Then the parking structure is 3. I'm not sure. The
police station potentially. I don't think they're going to be building anything there anytime soon, but we're still talking at least 2 or 3 cranes could be here at the same time. And somebody said close to $1 billion worth of construction. Yeah, if you look at the mall as well and all that stuff going on down there.
But you're looking also at Wind River, Costco, and all those other things too.
And eventually Panettone and
Stillwater.
You know what? I haven't counted that one yet. I'm sure it's going to happen, and I would like to meet the Panettones because it is a family-owned business, right? Except they probably have. Did they all come up here, or just to have maybe have pizza?
They're actually broken up. They're broken up into, if you would, separate businesses. Each vice president kind of has his own portfolio.
Right. I know there's Europe and there's other places that they're at, but it's a family business though, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this Panettone's got this one's got that.
It's a big family business.
Okay, we're here with Tony Giovanniello, and it's the president of the CEO of the Economic Development Corporation, and Todd Jones, who is their Entrepreneurial Director. We're talking about the businesses here, and things are going on. Of course, the United Airlines flying in here, the impact on the cannabis industry, which really hasn't hit yet. We have to see where that goes. The Stillwater, the delay out of Stillwater, however, it's just a delay, and they are being they're being positive about the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna happen. It may just be down the road a little bit further than we thought. And your new move to right down by the Civic Auditorium there in the old visitor center.
Sure.
Just as you're pulling in there.
Still says welcome to Reading, so it's a good spot for us for recruitment efforts.
Just when you make that turn going toward the rodeo grounds, there you are. All right, we're going to take a quick break. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at SST Oil. SST Oil has been on the front lines of the fires just like our first responders have. They've been the ones that have been keeping the diesel and the gas flowing out there to all of the bulldozers and the cars and the trucks and the fire engines, everything that's needed out there. You've had SST Oil right out there with them, plus the fact of having to keep the millions of gallons of oil and gas and diesel moving up and down the freeways. And, it's just been a huge job for them, but they've handled it very well. It's SST oil. And the reason I'm talking about that is that you can get CCF cards there, that you can get that they're good in 59,000 different areas. They give you a neat little invoice in the month showing you where everybody's been using the cards, where they're at, locations, all of those things. Plus the kerosene for the heating, which is, if you look at this, heating and water heaters, it's 52 degrees tonight. It's going to get cooler and cooler. Have you had your water heaters looked at and your home heaters looked at? Well, they're there, too, to help you replace them, and you can get a great deal on that. All of this at SST Oil. Give them a call. 241-1167. An employee-owned business. Been in the business here in Reading for over 50 years. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Free Fire Radio. On KCNR 1460. I was just whining. We could get some cheese. And, because I just had a lot of whining going on right there, talking about the state of California to the Economic Development Corporation, Tony Giovanniello, the CEO, and Todd Jones, the entrepreneur developer there. Okay. You got a lot of things happening here. You're having the GMI, which is a Shasta Grow Manufacturing Initiative. That is something that we started here in our county last January, so it's been running a little more than a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Butte County has had one for 4 years, and they now have 20 to 30 manufacturers getting together regularly, sharing best practices, working on different topics and collaborating, starting to buy from one another, right? Starting to look at leverage. Can we share freight? All different kinds of things like that. So one of the exciting things that we're doing is there's a National Manufacturing Day on October 5th. And we are arranging, along with Shasta College, bus capability to take manufacturers out to different high school locations. And, at our high schools, we're doing things like robotics, 3D printing, drafting, and modeling. We're doing welding. We're doing all these things. And we want manufacturers to understand what our high schoolers are learning and maybe getting more engaged in those programs to tweak them so that the kids are learning exactly what our manufacturers need. The idea of the robotics and all this, Todd, I know that you're really into the 3D, the manufacturing that way for family reasons and others. The robotics and the artificial intelligence, it's here, but it's going to be huge. Are we training our people to be at that level, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's manufacturers that are certainly trying to do it in-house. My father-in-law, for instance, works with machine automation, and it's robotics. It doesn't look like a human robot-looking thing that's grabbing pieces, but it's controlling these pieces of equipment for huge manufacturing lines, so they're intelligent and they can talk to all the equipment on the entire line within fractions of a second, so every piece of equipment works the way it's supposed to. So things are getting better, and Shasta College, I know, is working on, I think they do PLC programming out there, and that's still very relevant in a lot of manufacturing, especially a place like Sierra Pacific. People don't think of them as a manufacturer, but they're, taking a raw material and they're making it into a lot of different various types of wood and lumber.
You watch it out there.
It's amazing.
I'm just surprised how few people are working out there.
Well, it's extremely high tech, right? But those jobs are high paying jobs.
They really are. And you see that as the people lose their jobs, like on an assembly line, well, the ones that are able to retrain come up and they're making 3 times as much money as they did. And they used to have a sustainable wage. But now they're making double or 3 times as much running the computers that run those jobs. Yeah. But it's less people.
Yeah, even Lehigh Cement up there on the hill, everyone drives by this, a lot of people might not even know they're up there, but they have a bunch of PLC guys up there that are programming heavy equipment to work appropriately, and the rock crushers and everything else that they have going on out there. It's pretty impressive.
It is. Okay, so and this is exciting to have the manufacturers from the northern region around here going by, looking at the schools, and I assume that they're saying, well, you know what, if you had this could really help, because this is where we're going to be in 5 years, and we need you all to be training to this type of level.
Yeah, and I'm actually hoping that it fosters other things. Like, for example, there was a company in Butte County who had a CNC plasma cutter, right? Mm-hmm. And that thing used is probably worth $100,000. They bought a new one, Okay, they wanted to donate it to somebody. We actually got that for Shasta High School a few years ago. And now with the Grow Manufacturing in Butte, they are, with purpose, taking equipment offline earlier than they normally would and getting it into high schools so that the students get more contemporary exposure to real-life equipment. And so that's one of the things we hope to get out of this.
Do you find it kind of amusing that, if you look at the old recruiting for colleges, you can't do anything unless you got a college degree. You can't do anything unless you got a college degree. And now you're looking at people getting degrees in college that can't get jobs, or their jobs are really low-paying jobs. And those young men and women that are, looking to the future and say, okay, I can go to college and get a degree, or I can go learn where artificial intelligence fits in and how robotics fits in, and learn a trade that's going to make them money right away and make them lots of money as they continue to grow. I mean, I think that's great. Yeah. Some people need to go off to college because we still need the engineer, the ones that train like that. But we are so short in those industries to make this stuff run. Well,
and when you look at the numbers in different school districts, sometimes 40 or 60% or more of our kids go off to college. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, only 25% end up with a degree for all the reasons in life. So 75% of the people need other types of training to do these jobs. And these other jobs in the trades and in manufacturing are living wage jobs. They're good jobs.
Frankly, $75 an hour for a plumber, which I think you're going to find is kind of like the average.
Yeah.
Anywhere from $60 to $75 an hour for a plumber. I mean, that's a good job.
And some of it is marketing, and we have a group of people that are working on those kinds of things. For some reason, there is a stigma about some of these jobs, and in reality, these jobs are fabulous jobs, and not only can you work for someone, you have the ability to work for yourself and be a businessman and do things the way you want to do
courses,
it.
You take the follow-on courses in business and finance and all this. There's no reason that you can't a young entrepreneur. And we think of entrepreneurship in the electronics and all these kind of things. I think that startups around town here in the services ought to be looked at just as strongly as we do for those ones that are, it's medical instruments. Well, how about a guy that's starting up a company that does things like drywall? A young man that starts a company like that. I mean, he's going to be making money right away in this big construction thing. I think those guys need to be encouraged. Guys and girls need to be encouraged.
I mean, it's not just manufacturing, but the Builders Exchange, what they're doing to try to create this workforce with the impact of fire and all the houses that need to be rebuilt. We have a decent amount of general contractors, but it's hard for them to find labor. And I think according to Joe, I think the average wage for a skilled worker here in Shasta County is around like $75,000 a year.
Yeah, $77,000.
Think about that, $77,000 a year, which is about at least 50% more than, say, a teacher.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost double the median income. I think it is double the median income in Shasta County. And, of course, you're not going to start out that way, but you got to start somewhere.
But they're going to be starting.
It's not going to take long.
They're starting at a very living wage, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not like they're starting at $2,000 a month. They're at around $4,000 a month, I think, starting out for a lot of them. And you can live on that until you can keep going pushing out.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Giovanniello, the CEO of EDC, thanks a lot for coming in here and taking my abuse for the first 5 minutes over United.
It feels so good, Carl.
And Todd Jones, who heads up the Entrepreneurial Division. A lot of things coming up in the next month or two that we're going to be talking about. United, big step forward. I can't wait to hear what's going on with Stillwater next month as we move forward with that. And then the other ventures that are going on that helps grow our city, especially during this time when we've kind of taken a shot to the gut with the fires. And do you think that's going to be a impact?
We are so resilient. It'll be a positive. We'll rebuild better, bigger, and better.
Tomorrow, Clark and Clark. Have a great day, everybody.